that's a really good indication. The dude had 3 wins in 2.5 seasons, and that's who Cincinnati wants to bring in because Marvin Lewis, that's his guy. Well, you know what? If that's what they want to do, have him, because I'm looking forward to beating you every year.
I'm not laughing. I'm just remembering the last time you guys played and the reaction that the players gave to Cincinnati was funny. Hilarious.
Yeah. Demarius Randall intercepting the pass and turning around and handing the ball to Hugh Jackson was the best troll job I've ever seen in the history of sports.
It did create some viral topics, that's for sure. Adam Jividen, super fan of the Cubs. Appreciate you jumping on board with us today. Real quickly, I think 2 high honors from the Indianapolis Colts go to Andrew Luck, not counting MVP, and Coach of the Year goes to Frank Reich. Both of those awards are in the Indianapolis Colts. But what are your thoughts about Andrew Luck being snubbed on the Pro Bowl?
Andrew got snubbed. I don't think it's a question. You know, Tom Brady got on because he's Tom Brady. I think the bigger snub than Andrew, honestly, though, is Darius Leonard. How is Darius Leonard leading the league in tackles by a wide margin with several sacks and pass deflections, and he gets nudged out by Bernard McKinney from Houston? Are you kidding me? Luck has a lot of competition at middle linebacker. Leonard doesn't. He's been the best middle linebacker in all of football, and he gets snubbed. I was like, I don't even understand who builds this freaking roster if Darius Leonard gets left off.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. Was he put on as an alternate? But I could be wrong on that. I don't have my list.
Yeah,
of,
he's an alternate, but they have like 6 alternates. So ultimately, Darius is going to play in the game. But the big honor is when you are named on the Pro Bowl without being an alternate. You are designated one of the best players at your position. I mean, and I just it was such an oversight. I was baffled.
Debaffled? Is that what you said? Debaffled?
No, just baffled. Just completely at a loss. You know, I can't understand how that was it is a colossal mistake.
Well, what was not a colossal mistake is having you on today. Adam Jividen, we appreciate you joining us. Super fan for the Cleveland Browns, 917-889-8516. Good luck to you guys this week, and we'll see what happens as the playoff picture comes together.
Sounds good, Tom. I appreciate it. You have a good Merry Christmas.
You too, Adam. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Adam Jividen, big Cleveland Browns super fan. He's been on before. He has a passion for the Browns like nobody's believed. And I'm glad for the Browns. I mean, obviously they're in that AFC wild card hunt as well. I know that they're actually going to get there, but it's good to hear the passion in his voice for his team. And I've got a lot of passion for my team. And joining us next will be Ed Kratz, beat writer for the Philadelphia Eagles, who has a lot of passion for the NFL and Philadelphia Eagles. And we did the Colts. When I say we, I mean the Colts did the Philadelphia Eagles a big favor last week with a shutout against the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get into all that right coming up next.
Tonight.
The Air National Guard is a reserve component of the United States Air Force and serves alongside active duty Air Force members in times of a national crisis. In addition, the Air Guard serves the state and local community in a wide range of capacities. The reason people join the Air Guard is as diverse as our members and includes such reasons as a deep desire to serve their country, money for college, travel, new job skills, and the pride that goes along with belonging to the greatest military organization in the world. I joined because I felt a calling to serve my country, but I didn't want to be far away from my family, so the Indiana Air National Guard was a perfect fit for me. With over 95 different career opportunities to choose from and 100% paid college tuition to any state-funded college, why not give us a call? Call 1-800-841-3103 or visit online at goang.com to find out more. Again, that's 1-800-841-3103. The Air National Guard, guarding America, defending freedom.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar.
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
Welcome back to the Balance. My name is Marquis, Presidente. 1 hour in the books. Thanks to Matthew Embry and Rick Riggin breaking down some college football bowl games for us this weekend, and also talking some college hoops. And super fan of the Cleveland Browns, Adam Jividen, who still believes that there's a chance for a Christmas miracle for the Cleveland Browns. And no, that was not Trans-Siberian Orchestra. No, that was not Mannheim Steamroller. That was Metallica's version of the Christmas Carol. Gotta have yourself a little Metallica on Christmas. But who is steamrolling right into the playoffs is our official NFL contributor, Ed Kratz, on his way up to the Big Apple, beat writer for the Philadelphia Eagles with the Sports Exchange, footballmaven.io/Eagles. Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Kratz. How are you, sir?
Merry Christmas, Tom. I'm doing great. Thank you.
You know, we titled our show "The Christmas Miracle." There's a lot of teams out there that want a Christmas miracle. Obviously, the Eagles, the Colts. We talked about the Browns a while ago. So we'll get into all of those scenarios. But let's talk a little bit about. We usually start off with the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys got to be happy with your win and our win against the Dallas Cowboys. How about that? Shut out the Dallas Cowboys at home. Tomorrow we got the Giants. It's going to be a good weekend for football. Obviously, a lot of games on deck for today, so we'll get into those in just a minute. But let's talk a little bit about the Philadelphia Eagles as they are still in the hunt for a playoff picture.
Yeah, they went out to L.A. and really sprung an upset on the Rams. The Rams were like 13-point favorites, and here comes St. Nick, jolly old St. Nick Foles riding to the rescue.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing what this guy has done. I mean, he not only won the biggest game in the franchise's history with the Super Bowl in February, he won the biggest game of the season in Los Angeles last week. He's not even the starting quarterback. So it's just crazy when you think about what Nick Foles has meant to this organization. And, we'll see how the Eagles do against the Texans, how they're able to handle that big win. You hope that they don't come out flat or feeling good, but it was a big win certainly, and it kept the Eagles right there in the mix of the playoffs. And then, they did get help from the Colts when they beat the Cowboys, but I don't think the Eagles are going to catch the Cowboys. The Cowboys kind of have to lose out here their final two games, and the Eagles have to win both of them for the Eagles to win the NFC East. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the bigger help for the Eagles last week came when the 49ers beat the Seahawks. That puts the Eagles one step closer to the wild card spot and maybe even the fifth seed, depending on how Seattle does. And then you have the Vikings still in front of the Eagles, so they have to lose somewhere along the line. The Vikings destroyed the Dolphins last week. They have to go to Detroit today for one of those old-time rivalry games, and we'll see if the Lions are up to the task of beating the Vikings. So the Eagles still need help, but all they can do is control what's in front of them, and that's to win on Sunday against the very good Texans team who has the number 2 seed right now in the AFC playoffs.
Well, I've compiled a list of different scenarios, and we're going to go through those scenarios and try to get through as many of them as we possibly can. But we had some breaking news this week. Patriots wide receiver Josh Gordon announced that he's stepping away from the football to focus on his mental health. Certainly, he's had issues with substance abuse and so forth. Most recently, he's facing an indefinite suspension due to marijuana smoking. I'm not a fan of smoking marijuana, so don't get me wrong. I'm not a weed advocate by any stretch of the imagination, but weed is legal in some form or fashion in about 30-some-odd states. Why is the NFL still making weed an issue for them? Because, back in the 70s, now, we learned from our mistakes, and I'm not saying that players should do cocaine and go out there and play football, but, there was a time when the Dallas Cowboys did cocaine regularly before and after games and so forth. So it could be worse, but is the NFL spending too much time focusing on marijuana as an issue when it's not really a performance-enhancing drug? Yeah,
I don't know, but I agree with you. I think marijuana has some medicinal purposes too for these players. They put their bodies on the line once a week, every week, and it helps kind of make them feel a little bit better coming out of a game, I think. I don't know why that's their stance. I agree with you. It's legal in some states. I don't know why the NFL needs to really test for it. And you don't want a bunch of potheads playing in the NFL, but I don't think players would do it to that extent or that extreme where it would affect their performance. Josh Gordon is a very talented wide receiver. Now, if it's only marijuana that he's being suspended for, then that's probably the wrong thing for the NFL to do. But there could be more there. We just don't know. And with Gordon, when he became a free agent after he was released again by the Browns, people praised the Patriots for picking him up. Well, what a great move this is. Why didn't other teams do it, including in Philadelphia? People in Philadelphia wanted the Eagles to get Josh Gordon. But now here you knew this was going to happen again, and you hoped it didn't. But you kind of figured at some point this would happen, and now it comes at a very bad time for the Patriots. They're losing one of their key players on offense 2 games before the postseason starts. So they have to overcome that now. So it's a headache for them, and of course then there's Josh Gordon. You feel bad for him. You hope he can get things back on track. Personally, who knows what's going to become of him.
Well, we're talking with Ed Kratz, our official NFL contributor, and I've compiled a list, a cheat sheet, if you will, and you can help me go through this because you are much smarter than I am. So heading into Week 16, here's what's happening. Teams that have clinched the division, we have 3 teams that have clinched the division. We have 5 teams that have clinched a playoff spot. There are 0 teams that have clinched a first-round bye. 14 teams still alive, 7 unclaimed playoff pictures, and 6 playoff that could be clinched this week. So let's just kind of go who can clinch this week. The Saints, the Rams, the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Bears will have to have some more company by the end of the weekend. The Cowboys, the Seahawks, the Texans, and the Patriots all will get another chance to officially get their postseason. And, of course, in the mix, in the conversation there is the Steelers and the Vikings. The Colts need a win from the Steelers. That would help us out a lot. We've got the Giants tomorrow. I'm going to be at that game. It's going to be a huge game. Great seats, great party. We'll get into that in just a minute. But we look at the teams that can clinch in Week 16. What are your thoughts?
Well, the NFL has to be happy with so much up in the air still at this point in the season. The final weekend before Christmas. that's a bonanza. That's a ratings bonanza for the NFL, and we know they've been doing a booming business with ratings this year. Anybody who thought that